Have you ever wanted to make a YouTube video or start a YouTube channel, but then the thought of actually filming the videos just completely stresses you out that you're like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. Well, I have discovered a new type of format to shoot your YouTube videos that I'm going to share with you today. And it's not daunting. It's not stressful. It's so much easier to produce than your regular just talking head YouTube videos, but it's also super effective. It is going to build trust with your audience. It is going to help you be more authentic and connect more with that audience, and ultimately so that you can get leads and sales and grow your business on YouTube. Now, it sounds a little bit too good to be true, but I've shot hundreds of YouTube videos and I found this to be the easiest and most effective content format that you can do. And I'm doing it right now, but I'm going to break down what it is. I'm going to break down how to do it the right way so that it is effective. And so let's just jump right into it. First of all, what is it? Well, I have a name for it, but I want to wait on that because I need to explain it first so that it makes a little bit of sense to you when I give you the name. So you know how the idea of like starting an audio only podcast, it sounds really intriguing because you don't need to stare into a camera, which can be super stressful. And you're like, if it's audio only, I could just like chill on my couch. I don't have to, I can look down at my notes. I don't have to like script something out. I can just chill and talk. Like that's easy. I just want to be able to talk and flow and relax. But on YouTube, you're filming it. You feel like you need to look into the lens. And then that's scary. Like, am I allowed to look at my notes? And so then you start overcomplicating it. But there's something, if you remove the camera, there's something that is super freeing and feels easy about doing a podcast. But the issue with doing this like kind of podcast format where you're just chilling on the couch, you have your notes and you're talking, is it can be hard to keep retention. It can sometimes be kind of boring because they're just winging it and there is no editing and they are just going with the wind, and really just optimizing to make it easy. This new format has a little bit of that, of what I just explained, but it also is mixed with the effectiveness of a talking head YouTube video. Talking head YouTube videos are like the most popular YouTube format, right? It's like this. You might think this is a talking head YouTube video. This is different. And that's what I'm going to explain here is there's a little bit of both. But the idea of a talking head format is that you can actually think of the idea first, the title, the thumbnail, and figure that out first so that you know it's going to get clicks and get views. That's what you should do if you're trying to just like reach as many people as possible. But the issue with the talking head stuff is you have to script that thing. It's like hard to actually script these videos, read it into a camera. It's very overwhelming sometimes. And even if you have like a teleprompter, you just feel robotic because you're reading this script in order to like make it kind of a little bit easier. And if you're not using a teleprompter, you're like spending so much time trying to perfect it and like look at the lines and then read it back to the camera. It's pretty difficult and draining. I would say it's pretty draining. However, there's obviously pros to it and there's cons to both of these. And this new format, I'll give you the name, is what I call a YouTube Mockcast. So a Mockcast is like what people would call like a fake podcast. Usually if you're filming you'll see people film like short form videos and it like looks like a podcast, but it's not an actual podcast. It's a Mockcast. But the YouTube part kind of brings in this YouTube talking head idea to it. So it's really just a blend of long form talking head video where you're strategically thinking about it. It's strategically thought out in the way that you actually do it. So it's optimized for YouTube. It's a talking head video optimized for YouTube, but it's performed or delivered with the ease of it being like a podcast. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not scripted out this video to the T because honestly, like when I see people too, by the way, this is maybe just my personal opinion. When people script out their scripts to the T and they're just like reading it on a teleprompter, I'm like, it just feels AI to me. I'm like, is this an AI YouTube video or is this person just reading a script that most likely probably came from AI? And you just wonder, right? But when you can just show up on camera yourself, like I'm just trying to be me. I'm trying to be I'm just chilling, trying to have a good conversation, sharing with you this whole new format of the YouTube Mockcast. And it's not fully scripted, but it's structured, and I'm taking you somewhere. Okay. So now let me share with you, now that you know what the YouTube Mockcast is, the blend of like a podcast, but it's not like intended to be just like it's not a podcast. It's a YouTube video, YouTube talking head video, but with the mix of the easiness or the delivery of a podcast. Okay. It's like that. Here's how to make it easy to film. And then I'm going to break down on how to actually make it effective so it grows your business, so that it brings in new people into your world. And I'll break down both of those right now. So the first thing is, how do you make it easy to film? Well, make it easy to film by having notes. Just literally, you could do a bullet point outline. And this is so much better than a talking head video because there's way less scripting. Like, I just have my notes here, and I actually even have my notes up here on a teleprompter that I can look at and read up here. So even if I'm reading my notes, my next one is to write out your hook. That's literally all I wrote. I wrote, write a hook. But I know now I'm going to talk about how I like to write out my hooks more word for word. So at the beginning of this video, I wrote out word for word the hook, and I read that through the teleprompter, but then the rest of it was bullet points. That's how I'm structuring the script, because if I have to type every single word out that I'm going to say in this video, I would hate it. Number one, I'd hate reading the prompter, and it would take forever to write that thing out. And then if I used AI, it would just feel AI. I just don't like it. I mean, I think a lot of people feel that, right? They want it to be real. So that being said, that's going to make it easier to film, to have some level of structure. Don't just wing it. Like, don't just grab a microphone, go sit on your couch, pull up a camera, and have a structure, just bullet points, so that you can look at your notes. And that's okay. Like, who cares if you look down at your notes? Who actually cares? If you're using YouTube to build your business and your brand, like, you're not trying to be the next Mr. Beast and entertain the world. Just be you, show up, give value. That's it. And then do it again and again and again and again. Okay. Another thing that can make it easier is, like, just literally get a podcast microphone. It doesn't need to be this expensive one. I found one for like $50 that I used, and it sounds amazing. And if you have a podcast microphone, it kind of just like, and you even get like a little chair, or you can just sit down and chill. It puts yourself in that mindset of it being a little bit more relaxed. And for me, like right now, I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying everything perfectly. I'm kind of stumbling over my words, whatever, but it doesn't matter. I'm pretending this is like in my head, I'm like, this is a podcast. There's not going to be cutting. And that's actually my next point too, is pretend that you're live. Hit play, pretend you're live. You could obviously go back and like redo a section. That's fine. But try not to. Try to just sit down and deliver it. And then if you just keep doing it, you're going to get better at it. The first time you're going to do it, it's not going to be that good. That's okay. You'll get better as you go. So pretend like you could post it with zero editing. And like, that is the energy you want to have going into it, is that I'm going to hit play. It's a podcast. We're live and I'm talking, and you're just going to go with the flow. That's the energy you need in order to like bring the anxiety down so that you can actually make content. And like at the very beginning of the video, like all of us have thought that before, like, oh, the filming is like, I hate it. Just lower the expectation for yourself. It doesn't need to be perfect. Who cares? And allow yourself for it not to be perfect. Easier said than done. But if you start doing it and then you post it, that's going to be the next part. It's going to be hard to post it, but post it and do it again and again and again. And you will get really good at it. How do you make it effective? So we want it to bring in new viewers. We also want it to build trust and work for our business, give us leads and sales. And so here's a couple tips on how to make this type of format effective for you. Number one, there's two types of content. I have a video, I don't know when it comes out in relation to this one, so link in the description. But there's capture content. You're trying to get new viewers into your world. And then there's conversion content. It's meant not to go viral. It's not meant to get a ton of new viewers. It's meant to nurture and convert the existing audience. So to make it effective, number one, well, identify, am I trying to reach new people, or is this a conversion content where like it doesn't need to go viral? If you're trying to make capture content, think about the packaging first. think about a good idea, title, and thumbnail. And then you just use this format to deliver on that idea. I have videos breaking down more in detail, like how to find outliers and what videos to make and all that. So I won't dive into it. But my point is you can still do that with this format. And what's nice too is if you can still get creative in this format with your thumbnails, because if you do like a creative thumbnail, you could just edit the intro to kind of line up with what that thumbnail looks like so that it feels like it's kind of cohesive. Or if you just want to keep the thumbnail super simple, like this already looks like a podcast, just make a thumbnail that looks like a podcast and you could do it that way. But if you get like a really cool idea for like a thumbnail where like, you know, my head's cracked open and I have like an AI brain, well, cool. I could still use that as a thumbnail idea. And then I could, in the intro, just like add in some visual elements to have that make sense. Also, if you want it to be effective, I already talked about structuring. I even talked about writing out the hook. I will say writing out your hook and just being strategic with writing out the hook is very important for making it effective, because a lot of people wing their intros. And when on YouTube, on your phone, if you open it up, you're going to see that thumbnail for like a second, and then it's going to autoplay the beginning. So you want to hook people in right away. And that's really, really important. Let's see. What is I even saying here? And you know what? I'm not even going to cut this out, because my point is this is supposed to be like a podcast. And so we're just chilling. And honestly, the nice thing about this type of format and shooting it in this way is you could sauce it up and like send to an editor and like make it like just crazy visual. And like you could, if you wanted to. And if your audience wants that, that's what I would say. If your audience wants that. But you don't have to, like, because it's like a podcast, people expect to put a podcast on their TV or on their phone and just like listen to it. It doesn't need to be crazy edited. So you could leave it with the bare essentials of just like your little hook, your outline, like no editing. That's fine. And especially depending on the niche, especially if it's conversion content, people don't really care so much about the editing. We were testing out a new format and style for Cole Gordon, and great editing, everything thought out. We were trying to go very viral. And we were doing this little experiment. One of the comments though, I might just throw it up right here because I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was like, they were like, you don't need the editing. We just want to, like, could you just talk to the camera and give us like we want your brain. And I'm like, man, that is again, not for every niche maybe, but like for a lot of us, like we just in our heads, we overthink it. And it's like, it's got to be this Netflix style movie. It doesn't. You could just look into the camera, talk. Like people just want to hear your insights, your experience. And that is more valuable than production quality, than editing quality, than any of that. Right. And of course it's going to depend, but I think for a lot of us business owners here, I think that is going to be helpful for you guys. I also really, what I like about this being what makes this effective is this format builds your authority, because if you have a podcast where you're just interviewing guests, well, that really builds their authority. I did a podcast with one of my business coaches, Alejandro Reyes, and he got so many clients from it and I didn't because I was interviewing him. But like, if I'm wanting to get clients, if I'm wanting to get leads, if I'm wanting to build my authority, build my business, I need to make sure that I'm the one delivering the value in the content. So I'm not saying you can't do podcasts with guests. I think that's great capture content. But I think what's awesome about this type of content is you can just do solo episodes, boom, to the camera, and it's great conversion content, and it could absolutely still be capture content as well, but it's going to build your authority because people get to see your expertise, they get to see your value, and that's what makes it super effective. Now, just shooting in this format and shooting in this way isn't a guarantee that your like business is going to grow, that your channel is going to grow. You have to keep in mind what your audience actually wants. And so I made a whole video breaking down how to balance out what your audience wants and how to figure out what they want with like finding a format and a way to make it sustainable. And so if you click on the screen, you can go watch that video, check it out. I think you'll find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.